We have Abhinav Bindra here with us. Very proud of you, and you make the country and all of us very proud. You know, more and more sports people, Abhinavji, around the world are now talking about mental health issues and stress and pressure. You're one of the few Indian sports people to have talked about it very openly, and in the context of your 2008 gold medal win in Beijing. So, how important is it for sports people, heroes and stars that people look up to, people like Naomi Osaka and Simone Biles and Ben Stokes, to be open and upfront about such things? Because I feel it goes a long way in destigmatizing mental health and the problems that it carries, and saying it's okay to talk, which I was just saying. You know, one of the initial things that I was educated on when I joined this association that deals with mental health is that to urge people to talk about it, because a lot of them just keep quiet or are shy about it, and we never know the problem.
Well, firstly, thank you for having me. I think you make an excellent point. I think it is very important for stars or well-known athletes to come out. It really gives power to the larger ecosystem to deal with this issue. I think there has been a long-standing misconception in the world of sport that athletes are immune to any kind of mental health issues. But on the contrary, I believe that athletes are perhaps even more prone and have more triggers in their journey. There is always dealing with failure. There is also a matter of dealing with success. There is the physiological stress of training can also lead to mental health issues, injury, an impending end of a career transition. There are lots of red flags in an athlete's career which can potentially lead to mental health issues and mental health disorders. The pressure of competition, for being judged almost every week. It is one of the few professions in the world where, we are appraised pretty much every week. In normal jobs, perhaps your profession, sir, comes closest, where, whenever your movie is being released, you're going to be judged on your performance. But our athletes who compete quite a lot are judged almost every week, which puts a lot of pressure on athletes. And what has led to happen is that there has been a dehumanization of the athlete. The entire focus has been centered around how do you win medals, how do you become better as an athlete. But not enough work has happened in the holistic well-being and the holistic development of us as human beings. And that is really the area to focus on, especially in a country like India, where I believe the next decade or so will be a decade for sport, which will mean that we will have many more young athletes taking up sport, playing sport, which will also mean we will have a lot of athletes fail in sport, because that is the very nature of sport. And we all have a collective responsibility to work on it and really make human well-being the heart and center of performance. That will really help athletes get to their truest potential, but also develop holistically as human beings and also be able to sustain success. So, of course, all athletes who are speaking up on mental health issues has really helped. I think the only silver lining of the pandemic has been there have been a lot more conversations revolving around mental health. Skeptics and naysayers of mental health suddenly had symptoms of their own. So I think there is a greater appreciation of mental health issues, and the amount of conversations, even in the world of sport, that are happening now have been more than ever. So I think it is the right time to really deal with it, but it is a lot of work. It is about really working the entire ecosystem, because there is one thing about dealing with mental health issues and creating resources for athletes, but it is also about creating psychologically safe environments for athletes to participate and compete in sport.
Thank you so much, Abhinavji. Just another point on what you spoke. I had the opportunity to meet Neeraj Chopra, our gold medalist in the javelin throw, and during the course of his preparation for the Olympics, sometime he injured his elbow And he went into such a depression, he was saying. He felt, my career is over, my life is over, and I'll never be able to, get to the point where I want to be able to compete and join the Olympic team and so on. But he, I think, took some advice, took some mental advice from people. He worked his way through that, got rid of this terrible feeling within him, and look what happened to him. So I agree that, this kind of thing happens to most athletes. And wonderful points that you made, Abhinavji, is that is failure. When you're an athlete or a sportsman, failure is one thing that affects you deeply, as does a lot of people in the art world. For especially where there is competition in the film world, you have a failure and your whole world just crumbles in front of you, and you need to battle with that.
I think his foundation is doing a lot on these things.
So, Abhinav, I'll just take up from what's said, and I think that one of the things that we don't really, or probably aren't really teaching the youth today that wants to enter into the world of sport, the importance of mental well-being. And I'd love to hear more about your foundation. We hear you're doing some incredible work in the field of mental health and for overall health and well-being. Could you shed some light upon that, please?
Well, athletes, and I was equally guilty of believing in an equation through many parts of my career that a gold medal equals happiness. But in all reality, we have to learn to reverse that equation and make happiness our gold medal. If you're able to do that, I think we will be more successful and we will be able to reach our truest potential. We sometimes achieve goals, but we always struggle to achieve our truest potential. And if we really take care of our well-being, I think it just betters our chances of achieving our fullest potential. That's what one of the aspects of the work that my foundation is doing is really to educate the whole ecosystem. It's not just about educating the athletes; it's also about looking after the mental health of coaches. They play a very, very important role in an athlete's life. It is about sanitizing the entire entourage that surrounds the athlete and building these psychologically safe environments. At the moment, we are very outcome driven, and that is all right. We want to achieve great success, but there is more to life than winning gold medals. And I think it is very, very important for athletes to be able to participate in sport in psychologically safe environments. And a lot of work what we're doing at the moment is in advocacy of creating these environments. It's about educating ecosystems around this. But we've gone deeper as well. Athletes are assessed on a yearly basis on their physical prowess. We've just introduced within ecosystems across India the International Olympic Committee's assessment and recognition tool on mental health, where athletes are now also being assessed on yearly or a couple of times a year on their mental health, which I think is wonderful to see. It has already created impact because it gave strength to athletes who were struggling to really seek help. And that is a little contribution that we are making in this direction. But again, we have a long way to go, but heartening to see many conversations at the moment surrounding mental health and even the world of sport within India taking this aspect quite seriously.
Yeah. Thank you.